Hi, do you know because of this website you don't have to write cover letters or proposals or concept notes from scratch anymore? Let's get into it. So, in this video I'm going to show you 6 websites that are going to absolutely change your life. I'm exaggerating, but low-key, they're going to be very useful for your life. So let's get into it. The first one is called PrintFriendly.com, which is also an extension in Chrome. And let me show you what it can do. So you have a, so let's say you have a website and you want to print it, okay? You want to print it because maybe you want to share it as an article or something like that, okay? So now here is an article from The Economist that I want to print as a PDF, okay? So I'm using the extension in this case, but you can also copy the link and paste it into printfriendly.com and do the exact same thing, okay? But so in this case, what I do is I activate the extension like this, and now this is what the extension looks like. And so I had pre-done this before, but let me show you. For example, you can come here and delete pieces of the text that you don't want. I can delete that. I can delete that. Okay, I can delete this little text, this article appeared. I can delete that. I can delete that. Cover story newsletter at the bottom there. I can delete that as well. So now I just have the nice text. This here is a picture. I can delete that as well. I can come here. I can delete that. I can delete that. I can delete that. Okay, so you can delete almost all elements from the picture until you just have a nice little PDF that you can now print. Okay, think about this, especially when you access sites that have a ton of ads everywhere and you want to print that document. Even though while you're printing stuff, let's say you want to share it as a PDF with someone and you want it to look nice and clean. This site is very good for that. Printfriendly.com will help you solve that problem out. All right. The next site that I want to talk about is called Wormhole. And Wormhole allows you to send videos of up to 10 GB for free. Okay? For absolute free. And this is what Wormhole looks like, right? See, this is what it looks like, nice and clean. All you have to do is drop the file right in there and you can share it with someone, okay? This is useful if you use Google Drive, if you use a bunch of these platforms, sharing files larger than 25 MB can be really challenging. You have to use Dropbox or WeTransfer and a bunch of other sites like that. So Wormhole, up to 10 GB. I haven't really seen that, but then again, I'm not really experienced in this area. Maybe the video guy can tell me what websites they are. But for me, 10 GB was massive and it's really useful. So if this is something that affects you in your work, then Wormhole is really useful. I will leave the links to all these websites in the description so you can access them at your own time. Okay? All right, the next website I want to talk about is Tango. And Tango is similar to a site I talked about in a certain video I made earlier, which was called Scribe, which is about making instructional manuals. And Tango and Scribe are very similar, but I tried Tango out and it's interesting for a lot of reasons. It's a little more interesting than Scribe. And there are trade-offs, so I can't for sure say Tango is better. But when I think about how often I use Tango, I am inclined to use it more than Scribe. So I actually deleted Scribe from my laptop and I now use Tango, and let me show you why. Okay, so what we are going to do is we're going to go to my Gmail. Okay, so here in my Gmail, let me use this one. So we're going to go to my Gmail. Okay, so now nice and empty. So what if I wanted to create an instructional video on how to schedule a message to go out in the future? Okay, if you don't know, that's a feature in Gmail that you can use right now. But yes, so I want to show someone how to do that. So I want to create an instructional manual for that. So let's do it. The first thing I do, again, is I initiate the Tango extension. I press enter. I click capture workflow. Whenever I'm ready, it tells me capture has started. Then I go, first thing I do is I click compose. In compose, so I just go about the normal stuff that I do. So I enter my email. There, I enter a subject. I enter some gibberish, okay? Then to schedule send, I click this arrow down here. I click schedule send. I pick a time that makes sense and done, okay? So once I'm done with that workflow, I go to this little green button in the corner created by Tango and I click complete, and then Tango creates the workflow automatically and see what it creates, okay? So now The beauty about this is that now I can also edit what it shows. So the workflow is go to inbox, click on compose, it shows compose right there. Then type, so I can change this to enter the recipient's email and a subject and body text, something like that. Let me just change that to enter. Okay, so I can do that. And then now if I don't find something useful like this one in this case, I can just click on this, for example, in this case. I can just delete whatever I don't want to use. Okay, so I can delete this one that isn't really helpful. I can delete this one as well, which isn't really helpful. And then I can delete this as well. There we go. Delete that. Bugging me. There we go. And delete that. So yes, this is not what I want. So I can write text for scheduling send, whatever text. The beauty about Tango that's different from Scribe in its free version is that in Tango you can edit the screen capture that it gives you. So if you want to draw attention to something else very specific, you can do that. You know, you can add some text right there. You can add a circle. You can add an arrow pointing at something specific, right? Which is something you can't do in Scribe, which is a specific reason why I love this. Now, the free version of Tango allows you to create a limited number of workflows. I think they're about 125, some number like that. I can't really remember. But I have not had to create more than 10 instructional manuals. So for me, that's fine for now. But otherwise, yes, the very key differences between Tango and Scribe is that you can edit the screen capture tools. Otherwise, for the most part, they're really similar. I think for me, that's the main reason why I decided to use Tango. But otherwise, I'm not going to go through this whole thing. But once you're done with that, you can save the workflow. And once the workflow is saved, you can click share and report. And now you have a bunch of options to either copy a link that you can just share with that person that you want to show how to do that one thing, or you can export it as an HTML or as a Markdown or as a PDF. Fantastic. Tango, super useful website. However, you should also check out my video that I made about Scribe, which you can watch right here, one of these corners. And you can check that out too, and you can decide for yourself which one you think is better. But yeah, the next site is ChatGPT, because it's a must, okay? Now, if you want to access ChatGPT, you have to go to chat.openai.com, okay? And ChatGPT is really cool and really useful and has taken the world by storm, mostly because of how it can compress large amounts of text and give you answers to questions, all sorts of questions that you don't really know particularly. And so the main power in ChatGPT is mostly depends on the questions that you ask it, okay? If you ask it for the right things, it'll give you the right things. If you don't, then it's a little useless to you. I actually made a video about using ChatGPT with Excel, which you should also watch. I will leave it at the end of this video, so you can watch that as well. But one of the really cool things that I use ChatGPT for now is cover letters, or proposals or concept notes, any long form text documents that tend to be relatively standard. I just use ChatGPT at least to start for the initial idea generation. So in the example of a cover letter, all I do is I go to the job description and I copy the entire job description and I paste it into ChatGPT and I ask it to write me a cover letter based on this job description. And I've actually done this before. Let me see if I can find you the prompt that I used that one time for a specific job. So I'm just going to log in really quickly. Hopefully it won't be down, because sometimes it's down because of using the free version and, just being in Africa. But yes, so here's a job application that I applied for. Right? So here's the prompt. So I asked it to write me a cover letter for the following position. And I just pasted all this information, including the responsibilities, as you can see here. Right, person specification, skills and abilities, and it just spat out a cover letter right there, dear hiring manager. So now all you have to do is go in there and enter your over X years and all that stuff, So you can just edit your degree, the number of years you worked for. You can go in and edit the cover letter, but you don't need to start from scratch anymore, which is fantastic in my opinion, okay? So The same thing applies for a proposal. All you have to tell it, I want you to write me a business proposal with these and these parameters and so on and so forth. If you want to get really deep with it, it can actually help you write blog posts. If you're someone that writes blog posts very frequently and it's very like generic type blog posts, maybe 5 things you should do in the morning, stuff like that. Because you can actually teach ChatGPT how to write like you, right? And all you have to do is tell it again exactly who you are, how you want the text to look like, and you give it those specific prompts. It will respond with an answer, and you tweak that answer accordingly, telling it, no, make this more serious, make this shorter, use shorter sentences, use longer sentences. It's really powerful, and if you're not using it, you need to use it now. It is free. Go to chat.openai.com and get to playing with it. It's fantastic. It will absolutely change the way you work, and I don't know why you're not using it yet. In fact, you should probably pause here and go there. No, wait till the end of the video, then go use ChatGPT. But yes, that's it. The last site that I want to show you is called Excalibur, and Excalibur is a site that allows you to do a bunch of things, mostly create really cool images. This is what the site looks like, but one of my favorite features about this site is you can paste data from somewhere. For example, here's a Google Sheet with random data, okay? I can copy data from here, and I can come inside Excalibur and paste it, and it will create a graph based on that data for me automatically. And it's just not just any kind of graph. It's kind of quirky, kind of nice. I like the way it looks, honestly. And you can also change certain features about the graph. You can add arrows, and you can add a bunch of details to the graph that make it a little nicer, add more detail, things like that. But mostly, it's a little quirkier way to create a graph, you know. And so this right here, you can copy it and paste it in a report or something like that instantly. Okay, but I think for me, just that tool of copying and pasting data automatically is fantastic, because I don't want the graphs to look the same all the time. And this is something that sort of takes away from the whole hum of my usual visualizations. So this site, Excalibur, you should absolutely try. Okay. The last honorable mention that I do want to add is a site called Thesaurus.org. If you are a writer, then other than just like a regular dictionary application or just Googling what a word means, Thesaurus gives you a bunch of different synonyms for words. It's really useful for me because I write, and if you are not following my blog or my newsletter, the links are in the description below, and you should absolutely do that right now. But so Thesaurus allows me to get a bunch of synonyms for a bunch of different words, which allows you to make your writing a little more interesting, a little more unique, and a little more valuable to the reader. But yes, so that is it. Otherwise, those are the sites that I wanted to share with you. They're really cool, really nice, that you can use right now to really improve your workflow at work or in your personal life. And if you want to see more videos on me, if you like this one, then you should watch the videos that I'm going to leave on the screen somewhere here or somewhere here. I'm not sure where I'll put them, but yes, check out those videos, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.